Hello there, and welcome to the channel. My name is Lee, and this is a different type of video to what I normally do. But yeah, as the title says, this is a video, more of an educational video of how to maximize recovery post knee surgery. 3 months ago in a rugby game, I ruptured my ACL and tore my meniscus. But yeah, that has required me to get knee surgery. Been about 3 weeks now since post operation, and yeah, things are going quite well as I've been obsessively kind of just researching what was the fastest way to recover, as I'm trying to get back into a powerlifting environment, and for that I need to be doing all I can to recover and everything. So yeah, I thought I'd just share my thoughts on here, I guess, and yeah, people can just find this quite useful. Yeah, so this video is just giving general advice for post-operation recovery, but despite that, of course, recovery process is not going to be the same for every single person. And some people at this point might still be bedridden. Other people that literally might be back to work within 2 weeks post-surgery. So yeah, take this not with a grain of salt, but keep this as more general advice, as everyone's injury is different and suited to them. So yeah, it's important you talk with a physio or surgeon to see exactly what you should be doing. What everyone can do is help maximize their recovery time. And this is what this video is basically going to be going through the different types of recovery processes you can do to make sure you are getting the best out of your recovery. For athletes who are trying to get back to their sport, increase their strength quicker than normal, hopefully strengthen it back to the point it was before as soon as they can so they can return back to their sports. Or just for general people who are working, like uni, just general life things. So first thing I'm going to talk about is just simple medication. And for me, it's got to the point where just a few paracetamol a few times throughout the day, that suffices for me, as the pain over time has become a lot less. During, right after surgery, the pain was quite bad, so by then I was using different stuff like morphine. But yeah, as a general thing, paracetamol, ibuprofen, just taking that consistently throughout the day, that's pretty fine. But if the pain is quite intolerable, you can speak to a doctor and take stronger opioids. But yeah, make sure you talk to your doctor before doing anything stronger. So yeah, I'm gonna take a paracetamol now actually. Cool, okay. Next thing I'm gonna talk about is what you should be doing with your leg when you're just simply resting. And that is keeping your leg elevated when you're in a resting position. So basically whenever I'm at my desk, I just simply have my leg resting on this point here. So that just keeps it in a nice straight position, as it is very important to try regain your full extension of the knee over time, as if you don't try to push your knee towards that, your knee could lock in place, and that is exactly the opposite of what you should be aiming for. So yeah, just keeping your leg in a straight position. It might be uncomfortable, but it's just part of the process. But also when you're sleeping, I'm quite lucky to have pretty much like a super bed where I can make the end of my bed rise, as when you're sleeping you want to try keep your knee elevated above your heart, just to keep your blood circulating. For most people who can't do that, just stacking a few pillows on your bed and resting your feet on that is more than fine for helping your knee recover in that position. On to the third thing. So a couple weeks after surgery, there'll be clear swelling around the knee and also pain that comes along with that. And what you can do to help tolerate that, just ice regulation. About 10 to 15 minutes using an ice pack, put that on top of your knee, have some sort of layer in between it so you don't have an ice burn. I would usually just put a thin towel on top of my knee, place an ice pack for about 10 to 15 minutes is about the time you want to do. That is something that helps with swelling a lot, just help get rid of that searing pain that you might feel after surgery. Fourth tip. Alright, for the fourth tip, after surgery, you should be given some sort of leg brace for when you're resting. But yeah, whenever I'm resting at home or doing nothing, I'll have this on just to make sure it just helps with the strengthening of the knee. But when eventually you do leave the house and you're walking about, for me, I had this for rugby, but it's just a sports knee brace that you can put around your knee. Just make sure it's strengthened whenever you're walking around. It just helps psychologically as well, knowing that you have something there to help support your knee. You shouldn't rely on the knee braces, as you should be trying to exert some pressure on your knee to make it recover better. But yeah, especially post-surgery when your knee cannot handle it, this is definitely worthwhile investing in to walk around. And finally, what we're going to be getting into are different exercises you can do post-surgery. Yeah, this is what my physio has recommended, and these are 3 exercises that I've been doing. When you're doing these exercises, if you can handle it, try not to have any knee brace on, as it's really just trying to build up the strength back in this knee. And to do that, you need to be kind of pushing past that boundary, feeling a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, that's just part of a healing process. As long as you put your mind to it and you stick with these things every day, recovery will be maximized much faster than the time period that you may be actually expecting. One thing that I did actually forget to talk about before we get into that is how important your nutrition and diet is right after. It is very recommended that you eat in a caloric surplus. Make sure you get a good amount of protein in. It's good to just make sure your body is an overload of calories so that it has all the building blocks that your body basically needs to recover. It doesn't have to be anything drastic, but just make sure you're eating quite healthily, not eating too much junk. Alcohol is very bad for you as that inhibits your bloodstream. So you want to be keeping your blood circulating to make sure you're getting the most out of recovery. So I know for a lot of you it might be quite hard, but staying away from alcohol for a while is generally quite a good thing you can do for your recovery. But yeah, now we're going to move on to these exercises. Hopefully you guys can implement this. Let's go. Basically, the idea of this exercise, I'm trying to progressively overload over time and to the point where I'm eventually able to do a full single leg squat with my right leg, because my left leg, boom, simple, but I can not do that with my right leg yet. Squat up to at the moment, so not bad actually. It's basically just sitting up and down for sets of 10, about 3 sets. What I can do over time, put my left leg forward more, so that more of the load is concentrated on my right leg. As my knee gets stronger over time, again, my left leg forward more and more. Control the descent on the way down, back up, and just repeat. So take it slow, down. And over time, your control should become better and better, and you can move your leg forward more and more over time, eventually to the point where you're just doing it single-legged. So yeah, let's get into this.
Why you babysitting? Only 2 or 3 shots. I'ma show you how to turn it up a notch. First you get a swimming pool full of liquor, then you dive in it. Pool full of liquor, then you dive in it. I wave a few bottles, then I watch you all fly.
Definitely feels uncomfortable towards my last few reps, but that is a good thing because I need to be building strength in my knee over time. And that uncomfortable feeling, that will strengthen my knee more and more over time. And hopefully it should become easier and easier with time as my body develops and repairs this area here. So that is the idea of this of these exercises. But yeah, another couple sets of this and then we'll move on to another one. I know it may seem that this sort of stuff is too excessive and overloading my knee with too much force, but this is the sort of stuff you need to be doing for ACL recovery to make sure your body is putting all its resources into repairing the knee, because if you don't really do anything and just rest for a while, your body's just going to get used to that and not really recover the way it should be, especially if you're trying to get back into a sports environment. You need to be doing this sort of therapy to make sure your knee heals back to just as well as your knee was before the injury. So yeah, on to the next exercise. So this is the next exercise, which involves a towel, and it's basically use a towel to put some pressure on the knee here. It's basically just pulling back, feeling a deep stretch. It is good to get to that uncomfortable feeling part, because that's the part where you should really try to be pushing through. I'm getting quite good deep flexion with my knee now, to the point where almost bending back to the whole way. The fact that I can get to this stage already, quite a good sign. Relaxing the leg, and again, pulling back, just gradually feeling out. Yeah, again, for about 10 reps for a few sets, so I'm gonna do that again.
Why you babysitting? Only 2 or 3 shots. I'ma show you how to turn it up a notch. First you get a swimming pool full of liquor, then you dive in it. Pool full of liquor, then you dive in it.
Ooh, that does feel quite good. There we go. Wow, that exercise done. And then on to the next one. Well, this final exercise is pretty sus, I can't lie. But it must be done. Just a hip thrust. Keeping my right leg, ACL leg, more forward. It's basically thrust in the air. Hold it for a sec. Control the descent down. So, boom. Hold it. The idea of having the left leg back more forward is that, again, it's putting more load on this right leg here. So that is the one that I'm trying to build up to. I think I'm at the point where I could do it single leg. So I think I'm going to do that now. Another 3 sets of 10.
No appetite for failure, and I got hunger, pain that grow insane. Tell me, do that sound familiar? If it do, then you're like me. Make an excuse that your relief is in the bottom of a bottle, and the green is in the leaf as the window open.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this video was quite useful to people that are going through similar situations, or hopefully it was just some entertainment for you guys. But yeah, leave comments down below if you need to know anything else, if you want me to continue doing these sort of videos, education videos, I guess. But yeah, it'd be appreciated if you click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys very much. See you guys next time.
Why you babysitting? Only 2 or 3 shots. I'ma show you how to turn it up a notch. First you get a swimming pool full of liquor, then you dive in it. Pool full of liquor, then you dive